The real terrorists in Nigeria are those who are saying that the government has fought terrorism. The real bandits are those who say that this administration has brought security. Those are gentlemen in the forest. I'm not appreciating them. I don't like what they are doing. This declaration of a state of emergency is a joke. Leave it at that. Right. Remember, memory lane. With you and with another TV station, I nearly stopped the swearing in of this government. I don't want that to happen again. Anything that goes wrong, I don't want to have contributed to anything, because this government is skating on thin ice. And the ice is so thin you cannot believe it. We're in a precarious situation in this country. Remember, I warned us not to swear in Tinubu Shettima ticket. It nearly stopped it. If not because some of us were very lazy and scared, we could have stopped it. Now, put Shettima and Tinubu aside. I don't want to talk about them. I want to ask three groups of people to please see what they have done. The judiciary, please see what you've done. You have brought in an incompetent government that is incapable of fulfilling their promises.
After more than a decade of deadly jihadi attacks and mass abductions, still the flames of insecurity remain flammable, burning bright and out of control in Nigeria. It's an impossibly difficult blaze, with each successive government failing spectacularly to tackle it. They simply haven't been able to train their water hoses with enough pressure to tamp it down. And now, in one of the strongest security policies implemented so far by the Tinubu administration, the president has declared a nationwide security emergency following a resurgence of a wave of deadly attacks and mass abductions. President Tinubu wants 50,000 additional officers recruited immediately to help tackle the security crisis. And he wants to deploy forest guards to the long stretches of Nigeria's wooded areas bordering Benin, Niger, and Cameroon, which he says are being exploited by the militants to hide and infiltrate rural communities. They must have nowhere to hide, he said. Mr. Tinubu also wants police officers who used to guard VIPs to be redeployed and to receive crash training on how to deal with high-risk asymmetric warfare. Controversially, he's also recommending that local authorities stop building schools in remote areas. Northern Nigeria already has very low levels of access to education, and this policy is likely to make it even harder for some of the poorest children in the region to go to school. All this is coming at a time when President Trump has criticized the Nigerian government for failing to get a handle on the security crisis. And within Nigeria, the calls for the government to come up with a permanent solution have become insistently, deafeningly loud. So is this new state of emergency likely to be that solution? Well, let's see what my next guest thinks. Yusuf Datti-baba Ahmed. The name sparks intense debate and passionate opinions. Many know him as a fierce opposition politician, unleashing biting criticism and unapologetic rebukes against Nigeria's government. But beneath the fiery rhetoric lies a lesser-known truth. A respected educationist who has dedicated his life to illuminating young minds and shaping this country's future through knowledge. From the hallowed halls of Bayes University, which he founded, to the corridors of power, Mr. Baba Ahmed's dual identities blur the lines between politics and pedagogy, begging the question, what drives this unlikely fusion of firebrand politics and educational excellence? We'll have more on that in a moment. But first to the news of the day, insecurity and President Tinubu's declaration of a nationwide state of emergency. And for his reaction and assessment, I'm joined now in the studio by Yusuf Datti-baba Ahmed, politician, economist, former member of the House of Representatives and former senator. He's also the founder of Bayes University and was the Labour Party's vice presidential candidate in the 2023 presidential election. I could spend all night just talking about your credentials and the things that come after your name.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. It's good to see you again.
Can I just quickly add, with all modesty, also Baba Ahmed University in Kano.
Well,
because we have actually graduated the first set.
Excellent. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we're going to talk about what it is that drives you towards education in a minute. But first, as we mentioned, you are an educationist yourself, the founder of institutions of higher learning. Are you outraged by the kidnapping of school children in this country?
I am, to say the least. I wish it was possible to have avoided all this in the first place. I wish, but wishful thinking is not the life that we live. As a matter of fact, just between you and me, it was after...
And the 20 million other people who are watching.
It was after we agreed this meeting that the state of emergency was announced. And I can't run away from it. Otherwise, I want to sit with you for 1 hour without even mentioning this government, what they do. But there's no way to avoid it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So in that regard...
So everyone should bear with me. It's not me. It is the situation.
Indeed.
Please, yes.
And in that regard, what is your reaction to the announcement by President Tinubu of a national security emergency? Because his statement talked about recruitment of more police, crash training, notorious forests like Sambisa being cleared, state police, the ending of open grazing. I mean, did it strike all the right notes for you, or have you heard it all before?
Zero. He has missed the point completely.
What's the point?
Before that, let me quickly say, because you mentioned it, that in the policy, there is a call to stop building schools in the rural areas. Now, that is deadly. That is wrong. I wish Uncle Tinubu can hear this very quickly, and among the entire list, withdraw that one and please correct himself.
Well, it's come under a lot of criticism.
He should encourage people to build. If I have money, I will build in the rural areas. Believe me. It is wrong. Let him quickly, his advisors, whoever, remove only that point of stopping people, because in this sense, attack is the best form of defense. We in the educational world, we're fighting a war on behalf of the country that people don't realize. And it's as good as what the armed forces are doing. So for the commander-in-chief to say stop building in rural areas.
I think he said remote areas.
Well, remote areas, whatever it is, remote, populated, unpopulated, whatever areas, continue to build. I'm not contradicting the commander-in-chief, but he has said something that is very wrong.
In other words, we can't let terrorists dictate to us how to run the country.
Yes, and now let me come to those matters. We as a nation have transited from an era, the military era, where we had too much security and too little intelligence, to an era, the so-called democratic one, where we have too little intelligence, too much intelligence and too little security. What really is buttressing my point now? The commander-in-chief is saying crash program. Again, this is a wrong number to dial. Completely missing the point. You want the best of experts to handle this matter. And he is thinking of numbers. It is not about numbers. It is about reducing corruption in the war against insecurity itself. The entire amount budgeted for security in this current budget, how much of that is going actually in the war and how much is going into 2027 elections? How much is going into private pockets? How much is going into... That is the problem. Once you remove that, Nigeria will become secure. And it is not about numbers, because remove the Nigerian armed forces. The Nigeria police alone can wipe out insecurity and banditry in 2 months. Nigeria police. Remove that corruption. Remove political interest. Give them all the support they want. They will do it. So I'm sorry, Mr. President again has missed it. It's not about the numbers.
But isn't what you're saying going to come as part of this declaration of a state of emergency? Because, I mean, not only are they going to roll out their plan, but they're going to take in
a lot
of what people are saying.
Did he say anything about the actual procurements of arms? the rate at which they are given. Did he speak about money is getting missing, money is meant for the frontline allowances of our brave soldiers? Did he say anything about that for now and once past? They have missed the point. It is not about forest guards. We are not lacking numbers. Nigerian armed forces rank among the best in the world. I can tell you for sure Nigeria has some of the best records. Nigeria single-handedly stabilized Africa from the late 70s. Remember our contribution to end apartheid. We ended the war between Libya and Chad, stabilized Sierra Leone, Liberia, Ivory Coast. We were, shouldering the responsibilities of Niger, DRC, Somalia. The list goes on. Angola, and those. And then to come back and tell us that they cannot sort the problems of Nigeria out, that is not true. I'm sorry, Mr. President, Uncle, advisors, and all others, they have missed the point. It's not about forest guards. It is laughable to say that you're going to bring up forest guards to challenge the gentlemen in the forest. They are gentlemen in the forest. They are not jihadists. The real meaning of jihadists is totally different from what they do. These are not jihadists. They are gentlemen in the forest doing something else. They attack schools, they abduct, they do those kind of things. The real terrorists in Nigeria are those who are saying that the government has fought terrorism. The real bandits are those who say that this administration has brought security. Those are gentlemen in the forest. I'm not appreciating them. I don't like what they are doing. But
well, I would hope not.
I want us to go back to what brought me here. I want to talk about education.
Yeah, well, we're going to get to that. But
this government has missed the point.
But you've put us on this trajectory, and you do that all the time.
You put us.
No, you do that all the time, where you start saying things that simply, garner a lot of interest, and we want to hear more. And I am assuming that based on what you've said so far, you do not believe that this declaration of a state of emergency, even though it now has an international dimension, because the Americans are watching very closely, you don't think it has the capacity to stop these abductions?
Because I'm in a rush.
Have a chance of succeeding?
Because I'm in a hurry to drop this topic. This declaration of a state of emergency is a joke. Leave it at that. Right. Remember, memory lane. With you and with another TV station, I nearly stopped the swearing in of this government. I don't want that to happen again. Anything that goes wrong, I don't want to have contributed to anything, because this government is skating on thin ice. And the ice is so thin you cannot believe it. We're in a precarious situation in this country. Remember, I warned us. I warned us not to swear in Tinubu Shettima ticket. It nearly stopped it. If not because some of us were very lazy and scared, we could have stopped it. Now, put Shettima and Tinubu aside. I don't want to talk about them. I want to ask three groups of people to please see what they have done. The judiciary, please see what you've done. You have brought in an incompetent government that is incapable of fulfilling their promises. Nigerians, you and I and everyone, Obi, Atiku, and everybody, see what we have done to ourselves, allowing Tinubu Shettima to ruin our country. The armed forces, see what you've done, that they will come look you in the face and call you bloody fools. I'm not talking about Tinubu Shettima anymore. They are inconsequential because they don't even know what they're talking about. If you say they should stop building schools, for God's sake, I've written you off.
But surely you can't hold them responsible.
They are.
No, hold on a minute. Let me just make this point. You can't hold them responsible for the historical problem of insecurity in this country. I mean, they've been there for just over 2 years.
Can I catch you, Charles?
And this stuff has been going on since 2009.
Can I catch you, Charles? Thank you. You said 2009. From 2015 to now, at least you can catch Uncle Tinubu, because the world had it with late Baba Buhari. Everybody knew what he was. And he had cried to them that it was all over for him. Uncle Tinubu went and convinced him to come back. He showed him the money that Buhari's people wanted to see. It was all about money. He convinced him to come back. Everybody knew late Baba Buhari of blessed memory, I'm sorry, he doesn't know what he reads or what he used to read.
Yeah, but, well, everybody didn't know that because the country voted for him. I mean, so surely you might have known that, but a lot of people didn't know that.
But we were telling the people repeatedly, and they wouldn't listen. That is why we're paying a very high price, and that's why I told you, we Nigerians should not look and say to ourselves, see, look what we've done to ourselves. Tinubu is president, Shetima is vice. What have we done to ourselves?
So what do you think needs to be done? Because let's face it, I mean, a lot of people may be able to relate to what you're saying about the capacity of the government and so on. I mean, you mentioned corruption.
Yes.
That's the central thing that you think ought to be dealt with, and it'll have a domino effect.
Yes. Well, I've mentioned it. Charles, I started telling you, I mistakenly or otherwise nearly stopped the swearing in of this government. Up till today, some elements are blaming me. Ever since a few comments I made, ADC has not recovered. So I don't want to say, you see, I love Nigeria. I don't like the government of Tinubu, but I love Nigeria. Nigeria is my country. This Tinubu government is so weak, is at its lowest ebb. So from this sentence, I'm just telling you, let's move to education.
Right. So let me just say,
they are in a very, very bad situation. Right. Look, less than 48 hours ago, military took over in a sister African country.
Guinea-Bissau.
Thank you. And President Trump is a very, very serious man. Now, they have, and I know what I say. I don't want to say something that is big, something that is capital, that will harm the junta, which will come and harm the country because I love Nigeria. Everything that happens to Nigeria happens to me, including a commander-in-chief saying that stop building schools. This is what Boko Haram used to say.
I think you have to put that in context.
No, there's no context. Stop building schools in remote areas. You are doing Boko Haram's bidding.
Yeah, but what about the people who have closed the schools that have already been built? I mean, in other words, you have to take extreme measures to deal with extreme situations.
The failing government allowed those schools to be closed. Because the moment you close a school, you are opening prisons. You are opening the gates of hell. The moment you establish a school, you are closing a prison. So I totally disagree with Uncle. Please, they should retract that statement. That Bayo Onanuga, before he let him come back and say, please, we're sorry, go and continue opening schools. Now let's leave this security thing, which I didn't buy game for. Let's come back to classroom.
Okay, I will respect your wishes.
Thank you.
And let us move on to education, because you've said that education is key to Nigeria's development and that it empowers individuals and society as a whole. Is that what inspired you to establish a private university in Nigeria, or were there gaps that you were aiming to fill in the education sector? I'm curious to know what sparked the idea, for instance, to establish Bayes University.
Number one, family legacy. The legacy started from when our patriarch settled in Nigeria. And of all the offers he had,
where did he come from?
From North Africa.
Right.
Then it was not province of North Africa. Mauritania was a local government.
So you are Mauritanian then?
No, I'm a Nigerian.
No, I know you are. I mean, you were born and brought up and raised here. But I mean,
when he settled in Nigeria,
you can trace your lineage to Mauritania.
When he settled in Nigeria, in fact, beyond that, because they were travelers from the Arabian Peninsula, they were the real jihadists who were carrying Islam into Africa. But we're not going into history now.
Fulani jihadists?
No. The Arabs from the Middle East.
So are you Arab then? Is that your lineage is Arab?
I don't want to go into history, yes.
Okay.
All right, yes.
That's interesting.
The Hassaniya people who settled in Africa. Anyway, like I said, it's family legacy. When he settled in Nigeria in 1925, the choice of that was close to where there's a printing press in Nigeria. That automatically tells you he is biased. in education, and he quickly became close to all the clerics and the clergy, the emirate and the writers like late Dr. Abubakar Imam and all the books that he wrote. He also wrote a number of books. So the family legacy is not in industrial, it's not in trading or commerce or some other trade like blacksmiths or anything like that. It's strictly in education. I'm following what the family of the established family legacy, like Dr. Hakim, who went all the way PhD back in Nigeria. Once he leaves public service, he's back in a classroom. Even when he left Shetima's office, he came back to base and
that's your brother, your
yes,
elder brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so there's always that inclusion. The second thing is character. My character is that whenever I speak about something or complain about something, I will do something about it. I'm not praising myself. It's not good, it may not be good. But that's the truth. Like I keep telling you, I never was a politician. Maybe still now I'm not a politician. But because of these issues like insecurity now, I speak about it, I criticize it. And so I criticize the falling quality of education. What's there to do? Go into education. Lastly, opportunities. From the little readings that I've done, there is something we call in economics the two-gap planning model, the identity of savings and investment and imports and exports. And I applied that principle. Whatever you see now, the lack of security in Nigeria is identical to the opportunities for security business. The lack of water anywhere, if you borrow that principle and apply it, that's what I did.
Right. So
and it worked. So legacy, character, and opportunity. I saw an opportunity in this. Now let's move.
So there's a business opportunity, but there's also an altruistic opportunity.
Absolutely.
Right. And what are your thoughts on Nigeria's current education policy? And what reforms would you propose to improve student outcomes? Because, I mean, that's why you set up a university so you could control the environment yourself.
I am under certain regulators who can attack, who can flog us, who can do anything to us. But at the same time, I'm not afraid to say the truth. When you say policy, I doubt if there is such a thing as policy, because even if there is, they are abusing it. We have read the laws. The same government is breaking the laws. This government is breaking their own laws. How do you establish a university? It's there in Decree 9 of 1993, clearly stated, get your land, develop it your own. Even banks that are less, a bank is less in stature than a university. You cannot start a bank in a rented premises. Federal government of Nigeria, since under Buhari, have been allowing unscrupulous elements to go and rent buildings and open universities. This is against the law. And we know why they're doing it. I know why they're doing it. They want to fight me. They want to water down the quality. They want to, but look, do you have to destroy the system because you want to fight one young man, one gentleman who left you long ago? They are practicing the same old procurement systems in the public institutions. Go back and see how much did I spend in bringing out a world-class institution like ours. How much are government institutions spending in bringing out poor quality institutions? How much do we spend in doing researches in our place? And how much do they spend to regurgitate a research on the impact of banditry in 3 local governments in one state like that, which you know are copy and paste. So there is this corruption. So and I beg to say there's hardly any policy. I see a great deal of confusion there. Our bosses, tomorrow they could withdraw our license. They could do anything. We just recovered from certain attacks they did to us, our law program, our so many things like that. But look, for the sake of Nigeria, what the hell? Say the truth. Damn the consequences. It's only one institution. It's only one individual. If you want to punish us, go ahead and do, but then see what is coming ahead of you.
But let me ask you this, because let me sort of move slightly left field, let me put it that way. We see virtually every few months the government universities going on strike and retarding education for so many students. I mean, we never see that with the private universities and so on. Would you advise them to be more creative in seeking alternative sources of funding? Because that seems to be the issue, rather than just waiting for the government to give them handouts.
Alternative sources of funding are part and parcel of public institutions as we speak now.
Ought to be.
No, they are. Right now, they are. They do generate their income in certain different ways. The problem is utilization. That's why it is. We use ours maximally with even a positive exponential. They wreck public funds with impunity.
So it's that same problem between private sector and public sector.
Thank you. And unless you have leaders truly elected that will treat every public asset like their own, this problem will never stop. Don't deceive yourself. Be it in security, be it in education, healthcare, every aspect of our life. If you don't have the right leaders who remove personal, group, and political interests, things will never be good. Remove these three things, I say. Give Nigerian police 2 months to end insurgency and banditry. They will do it. There is no 2027 in the spending of funds. Nigeria police, go and finish. They will do it.
Just listening to you, I'm curious to know what leadership values guide your decisions and how you apply them in politics, in education, and in business, because you're an economist as well.
Yes. Tough question. I'm sorry, I'm not sure I have, out of modesty, and because you're asking me to speak about myself, I'm not sure if I have the right answer for you.
But you must have values that drive you.
I do.
Well, that's what I mean. What are those values, and how do you apply
them me to put it
in politics, in education, in business?
Because there is look, fear of God, love for my society. Leave these two things. Because I love Nigeria and I want Nigeria to work. Even remove that thing. Let's remove fear of God. Let's not go philosophical. Let's not go religious. The simple thing is I love Nigeria. I want Nigeria to work. That is my guiding principle. And because of that, I think Nigeria should have no leader that was rigged in. I believe Nigeria should have no group of leaders whose entire preoccupation in government is about being re-elected, is about group interests, political interests, and personal interests. Nigerians should for once look for those people out there, insist they come out and seek the position of leadership. Without doing that, people will continue to say it's their time.
But you have spoken about this consistently over a period of time. And over that period of time, clearly, from your point of view, from your assessment, nothing has changed. Do you see any signs now that things may be shifting? I mean, and I'm not talking about from inside Nigeria, the fact that people like Donald Trump have turned their focus on this country. Some have argued that that's why we're seeing all this about, declaration of a state of emergency, and because of that concern about the threat coming from America. Do you see that as being something that can move Nigeria forward in the sense of not just in terms of fear of American invasion, but could actually wake people up in this country and the government to do more positive things to take this country forward?
Charles, you have brought us back to the security that I didn't want to talk about.
Well, it's not just security.
Okay. You're talking about leadership.
It's about everything. It's about the elections you're talking about. It's about propriety in government.
I'll quickly come back to education. But let me tell you, it is very, very sad. There are times I'm proud to be a Nigerian. But also there are times I question my pride in being a Nigerian, because we Nigerians, we take every and all things on the cheek and we turn the other cheek to be slapped again. All and everything that one individual wants to do, he will do it and get away with it.
Somebody said Nigerians don't like sticking their necks out for anything.
Thank you very much.
They just want to be alive.
Now, American taxpayers' money is valuable, and they know the value if we don't know ours. Yes, Americans can strike. They struck Libya, they struck many places. Nobody from any country will come and do for you what you are lazy to do for yourself. Nigerians, hear this. No Ghanaian or Cameroonian will come to Nigeria and give you good governance. The key to a good life is a good leader. it is your business. How you procure yourself a good leader, it's your business. If you allow people to come and spend their money and make it their turn, their locum, good luck to you. That's it. I can't say it any better. Why I don't want to continue talking about security, because this, your very intelligent question, is bringing me to say that Nigerians, like Peter Obi once says, wake up. Nigerians, wake up. What are you doing? They are killing you like, and you are waiting for Americans. Wake up. No American will ever bomb you for your development. Look at very, very small countries with skyscrapers. Nigerians are more educated than them because it is Nigerian doctors that are in, surgeons who are in their hospitals. What do they have? The only asset, the only natural resource they have is they have love for their leaders. Their leaders have love for their followers. So look, no need to print a poster. No need to hold primaries and spend money. No need to bribe any INEC. No need to give the police and anything like that. Rule for life, so long as you provide good leadership to those small countries. They sleep till 4 p.m., wake up, go shopping, have dinner, go back home and sleep because they have a good leader. Other countries kill themselves, smuggle out the golds and diamonds, take it to their country, stay in the hotels and pay 20% because they have good leaders. They do all those. Now, I can't say it any better. Wake up, get for yourself the right leaders. Don't allow any locum to rig in 2027 because they will rig and you mean nothing to them. The Constitution means nothing because one individual would say the way he wants it to be interpreted. Nigeria, with the empires, Benin, we are getting to realize now that the artifacts are coming back to Nigeria. It was a highly advanced empire. Kanem Borno, the caliphate with the knowledge they came with, the Nok culture, and all those other, come on.
Yeah,
to tell me that
Nigeria rich history. No
we cannot unite just to give ourselves good leaders. We cannot think and give ourselves good leaders. That is not true. And if we continue to allow those locums, then yes, we'll be misruled for as long as it takes. Back to education, please.
We're almost out of time, as I said.
This is what I was afraid of.
No, but it's true. We've been speaking since 8 o'clock. It's 8:37 now. So we've done almost 40 minutes, which is the allocated time.
And we didn't talk about the education that I came to talk about.
Well, you did talk about education.
I don't think I did.
No, you did. You certainly did. Don't worry. When you play back the interview, I'm sure you'll see that you talked volubly about education. And you said some very interesting things about it. But you are where you are now, having done all these things, member of the House of Reps, member of the Senate, set up universities, economist. I mean, what lasting impact do you aim to make on Nigeria's education and political landscapes going forward from here?
It's not fair to ask me this with 30 minutes left, but I'll try.
No, actually 3 minutes, not 13.
Oh, come on, you're kidding, you're kidding. No.
I'm not kidding, but you can say a lot in 3 minutes. That's what we do as
journalists. Politically, I want to see for the first time truly elected leaders are sworn in, and
many would agree with you.
Living wages. I have calculated that my good friends, the police constable and the army private, should take home nothing less than 4 times what they are earning today. So living wage, and cascade it all the way up. Living wages. Without living wages for your citizenry, you have a big problem. I believe I am one of those with that kind of attitude.
Right. So, and if you had to prioritize those living wages at a time when there isn't too much money floating around, I mean, never mind the issue of corruption, and so I'm just saying, if you were to take decisive steps now and prioritize it, who would you prioritize?
Of course, the
security forces.
No, not just every worker.
No, but I'm saying, given that you've got limited funds,
Yes.
who would you prioritize?
Teachers and security forces, or security forces and teachers. Security personnel but it's not good to belittle any profession whatsoever, because in their own ways, they could be as important as the front line. This program you're holding could be as important, the message you're passing out there could be as important as the guns and bullets they are shooting in the front line anyway.
Well, thank you. I could certainly use more money here.
As for education, the legacy I pray to leave behind is the certificates of graduates from all Nigerian universities without exception to be truly worth their weight in gold. It's not about numbers, it's about the quality.
Indeed.
Indeed. And what I have done is to lead a quality revolution in Nigeria. Sadly, all I've introduced, not a single university up to now has been able to even begin to mimic like biometric attendance of lectures in base, like anonymous writing of exams, so you can't fail or pass or you can't favor anyone. Conference miking, I hope they are listening and they'll go and start copying me now, because that's what makes me a leader. I established an institution where I do not know 98% of the employees before they were employed. Sometimes we meet in an aircraft flying out and they come to greet me that they are going for a conference from base, which I don't know. An institution with staff and students from every state of the Federation. An institution that for the first time in Nigeria's history, a serving president of another African country accepted our certificate. A serving president of
the president of Sierra Leone.
Yeah, Senegal. And then the president of Sierra Leone traveled all the way to Nigeria to meet our own president and say, hey, I came to deliver a lecture in one of your universities. And he happens to know the founder of that university. At least it's his nephew that funded the university. But look, before I go, what education seeks to do is form citizens of a country into assets. Now, imagine that Nigeria has 237 million assets. And these assets, remember, I didn't say change into assets, form into assets. In the society, for the society. There isn't enough time. There are certain underpinning principles of education which time will not allow me. The perennialism.
You've got 30 seconds, I'm afraid. I could listen to you all night, but I'm afraid I have to go in 30 seconds.
Perennialism principle, the essentialism underpinning principles of education, the progressivism, then social reconstruction, and then creativity aspects of education. The 30 seconds you gave me.
Well, I think you made the point.
All I can say, but just imagine if Nigeria
Well, you're taking more than 30 seconds.
And the easiest way to destroy...
That's corruption. You're taking... You're taking more than was allotted to you. You're putting your hand in the till of time.
Sorry about that. No, we need to meet again. We need.
You know, you're always welcome here.
No,
and we appreciate your
It is not fair. He announced the state of emergency when I was coming to talk about education.
I like that. He took some of your time.
Yeah.
He stole your thunder.
Exactly.
But that's the way it is, isn't it? I want to thank you very much indeed. This has been an absolutely brilliant conversation.
Thank you.
Yusuf Datti-baba Ahmed. Datti-baba Ahmed is a politician, economist, former member of the House of Reps, former senator, founder of Bayes University, and Labour Party's vice presidential candidate in the 2023 presidential election. Thank you very much indeed.
My pleasure.
Good to see you again.